So let's head to the mat. Let's see how we can get in all of our requests and all of our stretches and breathings, and hopefully we feel good at 11:30. So let's bring our hands together and just breathe slowly. And even when you're in a difficult pose or going through vinyasa, try to still breathe relatively slowly. Your next exhale, just lower the arms. On your next inhale, reach up, look up at your thumbs, maybe lean back a little bit, and exhale to fold. Maybe bend the knees depending on your back. And inhale to straighten the legs, chest forward. Exhale to chaturanga. Inhale to upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. We're just going to take 3 breaths here. That's 1. 2. Make sure your arms are straight. And 3. After your exhale, step or jump forward. Inhale when you get there. Exhale, fold. Rise up. Inhale, steeple mudra. Reach to the right, hips to the left. Inhale all the way up, reach for the ceiling. Exhale, reach to the left, push your hips to the right. Inhale through center, belly in. Exhale, fold. Halfway up, inhale. Step or jump back, exhale. Upward facing, inhale. Downward facing, exhale. Again, just 3 breaths. 1. 2. Keep the armpits lifting up. And 3. After your exhale, step or jump forward. Inhale when you're there. Fold, exhale. Rise up, inhale, again, steeple mudra. Again, reach to the right on your exhale, push your hips left. Inhale through center, we're just trying to lengthen side bodies. Exhale, reach to the left, push the hips right. Inhale through center as tall as you can, exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway up. Step or jump, chaturanga, exhale. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. So either go to your wall, or you know by now I just spin around so that if I fall, I don't land on the cat condo.
Hey, Rachel.
Yes, ma'am.
It's flipped to your picture of natrajasana.
Oh, that doesn't make any sense. Okay. Did it change now?
Yeah, now it's better. It's on your mat.
Very weird. Okay. I hope it wasn't like that for too long. Okay, so now that we're in downward dog, we're just going to go through little handstand hops where we change our leg in the air. So step 1 foot forward, lean your shoulders forward, kick up, scissor your legs, and lower with the other foot. And just alternate at whatever pace you want. Try not to slam your feet into the wall if you have a wall there. You're aiming more up rather than over. And just do one more round. And we'll meet again in downward dog. With 2 feet on the ground. Arms straight, legs straight. Notice if your breath got crazy, try to calm it down again. And after your exhale, step or jump forward. Inhale whenever you're there. Fold, exhale. Rise up, inhale. Steeple mudra. Reach right, hips left, exhale. Inhale as tall as you can. Exhale, reach left. Inhale as tall as you can. Exhale to fold. Halfway up, inhale. Step or jump chaturanga. Exhale. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Right leg to the ceiling. Inhale. Step to the hands. Exhale, Asana. Left knee down. Take opposite elbows. And start to pull the elbows back. 3 breaths here. So the side bodies have to be long here in order for your forearms not to get stuck on your forehead. So your arms are coming over your head. Arch a little bit more. And whenever you're ready to exhale, release your hands. Step back for chaturanga. Cycle through at your pace. And we'll just find the other side, which is left leg high for an inhale. Step forward for the exhale. Lower the right knee. And try to take the opposite hand over position, just so that you don't always go for a habitual, kind of unintentional situation. Instead, you're creating with awareness. So we keep lifting the chest as we drop the hips. We keep reaching the elbows up and back. Whenever you're ready for your next exhale, just release your hand. Step back, chaturanga. Cycle at your pace. And again, we'll do that same handstand hop thing, nothing different. Just make sure your arms are straight, your fingers are spread. When you step forward a bit, you can lean your shoulders forward. And just notice where your eyes are looking. That will help you stay up a little bit longer. If you don't look too far forward, because if you look too far forward, you might be arching a little bit too much, and then it's not quite as sustainable. We'll just meet in downward dog again. Take your time. Try to smooth out the breath again. And after your exhale, step or jump, feet to hands. Inhale when you're there. Fold, exhale. Bend into the knees, Utkatasana. And just like in your ardha, hold opposite elbows, pull the shoulders back. Pull the elbows back, I should say. Try to sink the weight into your heels a little more. And draw your sitting bones closer together. Mula Bandha. And next exhale, release the grip, fold forward. Halfway up, inhale. Step or jump back, lower to chaturanga, exhale. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Right leg to the ceiling, inhale. Step forward, exhale. Asana. Hands on the right knee for a moment. Try to drop the hips a little lower. And reach the left arm out to the side somewhere. And reach the right arm up and over. So we're stretching the right side body. As we do that, it's tempting to unbend this front leg, because then you could put more weight in your left hand. But that's not really the point. Keep bending the front knee as much as you can stand it. This left hand is quite light on the ground. Stretch through the fingers, one more breath. And use an inhale to rise through center. Step to chaturanga, exhale. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Left leg to the ceiling, inhale. Step to the hands, exhale. Back knee down, hands to the left knee, and just nudge it forward another inch or so. Reach out with the right hand. It could go to a block or a book. It doesn't have to go all the way to the floor. And just keep reaching up and over with that left arm. Keep bending that front knee so you can drop your left hip closer to the floor. You get a better stretch for that whole left side body. You could even use the top of your right foot pushing down into the floor to help you get your hips lower. And the next inhale, come through your center Anjane. Exhale to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. B position. We'll come to the forearms. Try to get the elbows right behind the wrists. We'll push into the fingertips so that our head doesn't clunk into the floor. And if this is easy for you, walk your feet in closer to your elbows. Then you're going to have to press harder with your hands to keep your head off the ground, to keep your chest and armpit reaching back toward your legs. Let's all meet in a normal downward dog with straight arms and with the feet at a nice normal stance. So if you walk in, you got to walk back again. Let's lift the right leg up high, inhale. Step forward to the hands, exhale. Warrior one. Back heel down. Let's take our steeple mudra like we did before. And if you have trouble getting the palms together, do it in front of you instead of above you. It's a lot easier to get the pinky edge of the hand to touch. If you're looking at it, your shoulders will rotate nicely. And then you just try to keep it as best you can. As you lift the arm, you're lifting the chest also. One more breath here. Straight back leg. Reach up a little higher. And exhale, release the hands. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Left leg up high. Inhale. Step to the hands. Exhale. Warrior one. So you decide how you need to negotiate your steeple mudra. But as your arms travel up, so does your chest. The throat is open. The belly is drawing in and up so that you feel a bit weightless. Your low back should not hurt. If it does, potentially lift your back heel. And let's exhale the hands to the floor. Step back. Chaturanga. Cycle at your pace. Okay, we'll come to hands and knees again. Measure out the distance between the elbows. Wipe the sweat. Okay, so elbows are just shoulder width. That's why we measure. And place the hands so that they're parallel. Down dog B. We'll do the same thing we did in handstand, but in pincha. So one foot will step in. We'll kick up with the other. We'll change legs in the air. And we'll lower the top one. And then we switch. Go whatever pace suits you. Just a scissor in the air. Very sweat inducing. A lot of work for the shoulders and for the fingers. If you're finding that your hands migrate, you need to press harder into your pointer and thumb. Ooh. I was having a lot of trouble speaking and doing my difficult leg at the same time. Let's meet in a straight arm, straight leg downward dog. From down dog, we'll just lift the right leg up high, inhale. Step forward, exhale. Lower the left knee, so it's Asana. We'll take opposite elbows just for a moment and pull them back so that you feel the armpits stretch. And then change your grip so you're in a prayer position with your thumbs at the back of your neck. And try to keep your elbows back, even though now there's nothing pulling them back, so it's a little harder. If you can keep them relatively close to each other, you can use your head to press your forearms back and take your elbows for the ride. Let's slowly release the grip. We'll just lift the back knee, so it's just a nice normal lunge. On your inhale, straighten your front leg as much as you can. Exhale, bend. One more time, inhale, straighten. And exhale, bend. Lower the back heel. Reach for big toe grip, first two fingers and thumbs, triangle pose. Just start to extend the left arm up. Scoop that right hip under. And because we're doing a lot of side body stretching, with that top arm, we're going to reach it over the ear. And we're going to press those left fingers, or reach those left fingers opposite the hip. You're pressing that back foot down so you feel like that left hip is opening. Okay, left arm up high again. Inhale. Just release the grip. Return to that lunge place that you had before. Inhale to straighten the right leg again. Exhale to bend it. One more time. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Slide your left foot in about 6 inches. Lower the heel. Twisted triangle. Left hand to either side of the foot. Right arm up. So think about pushing your right hip back. And if you want, just for the case of experimentation, reach your right arm over your ear, just like you did in regular triangle, so that your right fingers are pressing opposite your right hip. And just see if that changes anything about your pose or your information about the hips. If your arm is over the ear, reach it up to the ceiling again. And let's untwist, step back, vinyasa. We'll lift the left leg up high, inhale. Step to the hands, exhale. Lower the back knee. Reach for opposite elbows, pull them back. And change your grip to prayer. Bring your elbows in a few inches. Thumbs just touching the base of the neck. And we'll try to press the head back gently so that the chin is not smushing into the chest. Instead, the throat is still open. Okay, slowly release. Fingers down, back knee up. We'll straighten the left leg. Inhale. And bend, exhale. Again, straighten, inhale. And bend, exhale. Okay, into triangle, back heel down. Yogi toe lock grip. Right arm up. Once you're settled and you feel that left hip scoop under, extend that right arm over the ear. You can look at that hand. See that your pinky finger is angling down. But for now, since we're exaggerating side body stretch, try to push your right heel down more, the outer edge of that right foot down more. You'll feel it in your waist. Okay, let's lower the fingers down. Return to your simple lunge. And inhale to straighten your left leg. Send your left hip back. Exhale, bend. Again, inhale, straighten. And exhale, bend. For Baddha Trikonasana. Right foot will slide in a bit, heel to heel alignment. Right hand to either side of the foot, or it could be on your shin or a block. Left arm up. Either left arm stays up or it reaches over the ear. And we'll try to reach it opposite that left hip. And regardless of your left arm, you're still trying to get your left hip back. And we'll slowly unravel. And vinyasa at your pace. We'll meet in downward dog. I put you in this pose every time I need to wipe the sweat off my face. Okay. Let's lift the right leg up high. Inhale. Step forward to the hands. Exhale. Warrior one. Mudra, just like you did before. This time we're going to turn it into warrior three. So we're going to lean forward, launch our back leg up, and start to look forward toward where we're pointing. And if that doesn't suit you, I just had a glimpse of the screen and I'm totally off screen. If this doesn't suit you to reach forward, just put your hands on your hips. And then you'll look maybe 2 feet forward as opposed to all the way to your thumb. Let's return to warrior one. So you bend that right knee, lift the chest, look up. And then exhale, hands to the floor. Baddha exit. So we talked about this a lot last week. We're not going to do so many arm balances today. But hands down, shin or knee into your right armpit. Lean forward like you would in a plank. You'll start to then push your shin or your knee down into your arm so your left leg can lift. It's that root to rise concept. The more you push your right leg into your right arm, the easier it is to get everything else up. So after you've cycled through your vinyasa, you'll try the other side. Left leg high, inhale. Step to the hands for warrior one. Simple mudra. Take your time getting set up. And when you're ready for warrior three, you'll start to lean forward. You'll launch that right leg off the ground. And we'll try to spin that right hip down. Inner rotate the leg so the inner thigh is lifting up. We'll meet in warrior one again. Take your time. When you decide to come through your vinyasa, the hands can't land next to the foot. Then it's logistically difficult with this leg. So the hands are in front of the foot about 8 to 12 inches. Put the knee or shin in that left armpit. Lean forward. Start to push down so your butt lifts up. And just do that until the leg lifts. And we'll meet in downward dog. Take your time experimenting. Those of us that are in dog, we're going to breathe easy. Okay, so from dog, right leg up high, inhale. Step to the hands. Warrior two. Rise up. And for good measure, let's straighten the front leg. Adjust your pants as needed. Rebend the front leg. Partial Konasana with a bind. So that right hand will come inside of the leg. You'll lean forward a little bit to get your shoulder inside of your knee so that you can wrap around and have your hands meet near your right hip. So once you're set in your bind, straighten your front leg again. Inhale. And bend, exhale. Just 2 more times. It may or may not get all the way straight. You'll notice it's very hard to keep leaning back, but we try. Okay, let's unravel our arms. Lower the back knee. Let's just nice Anjane. We'll just creep that back knee back a little more so it starts to get into a not so nice Anjane. It actually starts to resemble Hanumanasana the more you go back. So you just decide, when do you want to stop walking your left knee back? Two more breaths here. This is a great stretch for the thigh and hip flexor. That was one of Carrie's recommendations. Often we don't think of this as that because we're so distracted by the hamstring on that front leg, but really it's like half that and half this. Okay, let's start creeping that left leg in again. Eventually we wind up in a nice Anjane where we can easily step back vinyasa. And we'll do all that on the other side. Left leg high, inhale. Step forward, exhale. For warrior two, we rise up. We'll straighten the left leg, inhale. Bend it again, exhale. Parsvakonasana. We'll thread that left arm under so that your knuckles are by your hip. The right wrist can then plunk into the hand. Either stay here or inhale, straighten the left leg. Exhale, bend. 2 more breaths, either moving the leg or not. If it's too easy for your shoulder, you deepen your bind. If it's too difficult, you loosen it. You can even have it where you're just fingertips touching. Okay, let's slowly get out of there. Anjaneyasana into Hanuman. And just creep it back. And in your Anjane, your hips were square. It wasn't so hard to do. As you move your right knee back, it's going to be harder and harder. So you just have to keep yourself in check. How much of your pose is ego-driven? Try to take that out of it. You're home alone. Nobody cares. So whatever you're doing with your back foot, you can use it to help you push your right hip forward more. You can either push into the ball of your foot or into the top of the foot and toenails. Either way, that right foot is in this pose with us. Okay, we'll start to creep our right knee in again. And whenever you wind up in a good spot for stepping back, then take your vinyasa. Okay, let's come to our Pinchamayurasana again. So logistics for me is wipe the sweat off my face, and then I'm going to actually move my sweat rug out of the way because otherwise there's a lot of slipping because I'm not quite sweaty enough. So find your grip, whatever that is. Take the logistics out of the problem area, let them help you. And then from your down dog B, lean forward a bit, lift, change, and try to go slow as you lower. And try not to look too far forward. Try looking pretty much between your elbows, maybe between your forearms. But it's not going to be like full pinch up where you look forward because we're coming down so soon. So let's meet in a straight arm, straight leg downward dog. Don't worry, we'll do more of those later. We just don't want to get too tired too quick. Let's lift the right leg up high, inhale, and step to the hands, exhale. Lower the back knee. We're going to try to bind around this front leg. We'll see how it goes. So unbend the leg, reach up. Side body has to be long, so you're reaching up and over a little bit to the right. Exaggerate that. And as you're reaching, belly in and twist. Use your core muscles to help you twist. And roll the flesh of your right thigh in and dive over that leg so your armpit's right on your thigh. Bring that left arm under, bring the right arm around, and lift the back knee. So if you're not quite bound, take your time working that aspect. Maybe repeat the entrance a few times. If you are bound, lower your back heel as you would a regular Parvrita Asana. And try to push your right hip back. Look up over your right shoulder. And we'll slowly get out of there. We'll slide our left knee to the pinky toe side of the right foot and have a seat for ardha. So we'll be twisting the same direction. Hug the right knee to the left shoulder. If that's going well, hook your arm. And it's the same as your previous twist. You gotta side body long it, then you gotta twist it. You gotta get the flesh of the thigh out of the way so that there's no gap here between armpit and thigh. Then you can reach down with your left hand for your right foot. If you can, wrap the right arm behind. Slow down the breath. Okay, slowly unravel. Our right foot's already on the floor, so we're just going to lean toward it and step the left foot back. We'll wind up in that lunge again. And pivot on that right foot so it faces the left diagonal, and we'll come into that half squat, half hamstring thing with a bind. So pay attention to this right shoulder. It's going to be the one doing the tricky work. That shoulder's got to roll forward so that your palm is facing the ceiling as you wrap it around. This is your Pasasana setup, pretty much. So let's get out of there. We're just gonna walk to the front of the mat. You can just step your back foot forward. I'm gonna face you guys where you're fine as is. We're gonna squat with our feet as close together as they can be, where we can still balance. And you'll let the knees open. We're just gonna take ardha Pasasana. So it's pretty much what you just did. That right shoulder is gonna come inside of the knee, and it has to roll forward, so your palm faces up. And then you can wrap around your right leg. Your left hand will come around and they'll grab each other, or if you can, your right hand is gonna hold your left wrist. And once you're in your position, you're gonna squeeze your knees toward each other because it's gonna help you balance. Okay, slowly get out of there. Vinyasa. So we did all of those in that one little string, just so you can see how they're all related. Left leg up high, inhale. Step forward, exhale. Lower the right knee down. Okay, into Parvrita Asana. Unbend the front leg, reach. Side body long, twist. Flesh of that left thigh in so that you can get a very deep hook on the arm. And if this bind position is not suitable for you, just do a different arm position. When you feel like it, lift your back knee, maybe lower your back heel. And notice as soon as you lower the back heel, the hips try to swing themselves out to the left. So we just try our best to push it back. Straight back toward the edge of the mat, back edge of the mat. We look up, we push our knee into our right arm. And we'll slowly get out of there. Slide the right leg just to the outside of the left foot. You might be off your mat right now, that's fine. The foot is anchored. We'll end up on the mat again. So we either hug or we hook. And if you're gonna go for full pose, you can't hook just with your elbow because then there's this big gap between your chest and your thigh. So you gotta really lean forward and then you can get potentially the grip. For a long time, it hurt my elbow to get the grip. So if you find it's an elbow thing, do all the same aspects except just bend your elbow. Everything else can be the same. Look over the left shoulder. Okay, and we'll slowly unravel. We'll step on that left foot again and slide that right leg back. For our little half squat, half split, Try to find a place where you can do a no hands thing without your butt landing. So that's going to require you lean forward a little more than you want to. When you can, take your bind, left shoulder inside the knee, hand wrapping around your knuckles or on your hip. This is just to prep you for that ardha Pasasana. So let's unravel. We'll step to the top of the mat. Feet together-ish. They don't have to be actually together. If, when your feet are together, you end up on your butt, make your feet wider. Slide your shoulder inside of your knee. Get your shoulder to roll forward so your palm faces up. Your knuckles will be by your hip, just like in your previous situation. Okay, slowly get out of there, vinyasa. Let's bring the right leg up high, inhale. Step forward, exhale. Quarter turn to the left. Pasasana D. Reach for the big toes, inhale. Exhale to fold. Energize your arms so it feels like you're trying to pull your toe off your foot. Next, inhale, straighten the arms so your head comes off the ground. Exhale, hands to the hips. And inhale to stand. Stay there for the exhale. Reach out, inhale. C position, interlace the fingers behind the back. Exhale. Straight arms, chest up, inhale, and we fold forward. This is Pasasana C. Some of you are going to get your pinky fingers to the floor. I have to do this thing where I lean and roll the shoulder, and then lean and roll the shoulder. And I just keep repeating that. And it gives me another few inches. Still, my fingers are not touching the floor, but I at least feel like there's more of a stretch happening. Take one more breath. The inhale is going to bring us up. Okay. Let's reach. Right arm up and over. We're not going to love this, but we're just going to try it anyway. Gomukhasana arms. Left arm is going to come around. That shoulder is going to roll forward, just like in your other bind situations with the difficult arm, so that we can link fingers or strap. Head up, chin up, exhale to fold. And you'll find that as you're folding, you might have to loosen your grip a little bit, because you don't want your left arm to feel like it's ripping out of the socket. Plus, you have to keep your head pushing into your right arm. Otherwise, the weight of the arm is going to collapse your neck, and you're going to find your chin all scrunched up at your chest. Let's inhale ourselves up. The head and neck help get up quite a bit. And then just slowly release. Try the other side. So it's a different shoulder thing for each side. So this right arm is going to roll forward, inner rotation. The left arm, you'll get outer. You can do either arm first. Some people will do this, where they'll deal with the back arm, and they'll hold that bottom elbow and kind of negotiate that first, and then flip the other one. So whenever you're ready, fold forward. Whenever we would ask Tim about the differences of entrance or the details of it, he would just shrug and say it doesn't matter. Okay, start to use your head a bit more. Start to rise up, inhale, and slowly release. We'll just come to the top of the mat, hands down, vinyasa. Okay. Let's walk our feet forward toward our hands. And when to get them about 8 inches behind your hands, just squat. And practice leaning forward, literally your chest kind of bumping into your thighs to make your knees go forward. And you'll start to feel a nice stretch through your Achilles. You can just hug your legs, or you can put your hands wherever you want. So we're going to either go Pasasana, or you're going to repeat your Ardha Pasasana. So those of you in Ardha Pasasana, you just open up your knees. Right arm is going to come inside your right leg. Those of you in full Pasasana, I'm going to turn around because it's more fun from the back, or the view from the binding side. I kind of start up and then dive into it. But the twist aspects are the same. That right shoulder is going to roll forward so that the palm is facing out. And then you can start to negotiate your hands together. So whether you're in Ardha, which is one leg bound, or regular Pasasana, 2 legs bound, you're just trying to get your weight distributed through your feet, and you're going to look back over your left shoulder. And then we'll slowly unwind, and we'll do the other side. You might notice your hand gets kind of stuck on your ankle. Just keep practicing, and one day it will roll a little more forward with your shoulder so that your hand can come further up. Okay, so we twist to the right now, and we get our left arm hooked either inside of our left leg or outside of our right leg. Once we're bound, we try to look back over the right shoulder, and we try to breathe slow. And we'll slowly get out of there, vinyasa. When Carol asked for twists, I very much doubt she meant that one. Okay, let's walk the feet again forward toward the hands. And when they get about 8 inches behind the hands, just bend the knees and start to roll up. Eventually you'll be standing. Okay, flying pigeon. Right ankle to lower left thigh. Stick your butt out. Lean your chest forward. To do the other side, we're just going to lift the chest, step back, pivot around on the feet. It's just a easy, kind of lazy way to get there. So we'll wind up at the back of the mat with the left ankle on the lower right thigh. Okay. Rise up with the torso. Again, walk yourself around to the front. Right ankle again to the lower left thigh. This time we're going to sit on our butt. So again, I'm sort of on the lazy side of things. I want as few steps as possible between poses. So to get to my butt from here, I'm literally just going to squat and lower the butt. That might not work for you, in which case do it a different way. So we're going to try to hug the shin into the chest. And again, this requires you leaning forward, just like your Pasasana. Don't worry, we're not doing Pasasana again today, but you're going to, at some point in your life, need to do it again. So you're still, right now, prepping for a Pasasana. It's just not today's Pasasana. Okay, let's bring our right leg to half lotus, lean to the right, and bring your left leg to Virasana. And if that doesn't suit you, you can have a foot to left inner thigh, you can have a left leg straight. For natrajasana, we'll twist to the right, we'll place our left hand under the knee, right arm around the back, and we'll look back over that right shoulder. We have to lean a little bit into that left hand, which means leaning our left shoulder a little more forward than we think we need to. And then we kind of coil that right shoulder back. There's a very beautiful video of Laruga Glazer doing this. Okay, slowly get out of there. Pigeon, right leg in front. Slide that left leg back. Ah, pigeon. So we'll just go downward facing for right now. Chest towards shin bone, just like you were doing in your flying pigeons. But now it's a little harder because you have so much surface area on the mat. Okay, let's slowly rise up, step back, vinyasa. From your down dog, just step or jump your feet forward. Roll up or stand up in any way that suits you. And we're just going to do the other side, starting with flying pigeon, left ankle to lower thigh, squat, or sit down, however you want. And you're going to try to get your butt and your heel as close together as possible. If you're feeling tight today, or you ever do this with a non-yogi, there's going to be a giant gap here. Whatever it is, it's fine. You're just trying to lean forward. I tried to do this the other day at like 7 a.m. when I just rolled out of bed. I couldn't even get my foot into my elbow. I had to hold my foot with my hand way out in space. Okay, half lotus with the left leg. Virasana with the right leg. And we have our knees at about max width. So they're not parallel thighs. There's a V shape. We twist to the left. Slide that right hand under. And we twist and look back. If you can't get your hand under your knee, you just put your hand on top of your knee. Either way, that knee is pushing down. Either down into your hand or down into the floor. Okay, we'll slowly get out of there. Pigeon, left leg in front. Swing that right leg back. I've already at some point in our time together told you all my tricks about pigeon, but right now I need my left hand out as a kickstand because my hip is tight and I can tell that my body is trying to lean me to the left to avoid something. So I just put the hand out there. Okay. Let's slowly rise up. Vinyasa at your leisure. In a moment, we're going to come into Pincha Mayurasana, so you might need to move toward a wall, you might not. We're going to make it very minor of a back bend. We're going to look between our elbows, and we'll lower down to a straddle from there. So let's come to the forearms. Come into your Pincha Mayurasana, however you want. And then as you're starting to come down with your legs, you're going to push into your hands more. You'll start to split your legs apart. You'll change your gaze more to between your elbows so that you can lower your feet. And one day, I hope we do it slower than that. Let's do it again, just for good measure. So take your time getting yourself set up first. Try not to slam yourself into a wall. And you know in Pincha, you're back bending, so you're looking forward. So to lower our feet in this straddle, we need to push down more and think more Asana. We're going to look more between our elbows. And it's very hard to defy gravity, but we do our best. And we're just going to meet in a straight leg, straight arm down dog whenever you feel like You try it. Let's rock forward to plank and lower down to the belly. Pasasana A. We'll let the legs and chest lift. The shoulders roll down the back. The feet, inner feet, squeeze toward each other. Turn it into B position, hands by the waist. We try to get our shoulders as high as our elbows. And let's come on down. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Okay, right leg pigeon. And in this pigeon, we're going to have our left, oh no, I lied. This is still the right foot. Right foot closer to the left hip. So in downward facing pigeon, the foot was out here, and we had like our shoulder close to the foot. Now, instead, foot is in. Backbend grip. So we're going to reach the left hand for the inside of the foot. You might need your right hand big time as a kickstand, so just use it as much as you need. You're going to start to pull that left foot in. If it comes in close enough to you, you can get your pointer finger right between big toe, second toe. Then the palm of your hand will be on the bony top of your foot so that you don't feel like your toes are about to break off. I have seen people hook these toes in their front of their ribs. That's gnarly. I don't understand, but I've seen it happen. Probably Adam could do that. Okay, so we'll slowly get out of there. Either vinyasa or just step back. And we'll try the other side. Left leg forward to pigeon. Slide the right leg back. Check in with your leg before you go for your Baddha grip, that your knee is behind your hip, as opposed to off on some crazy diagonal. Then reach back and start to pull it in. If you're new to this grip, or you just feel tight today, you can twist to the right and literally watch your foot come in closer. It's much easier to get your hand to swivel if you're twisted to the right and watching it happen. Then you can just try to square up again to the front of the mat. Okay, slowly get out of there, vinyasa. Let's go for Asana. We'll come to the knees, and we'll walk the hands forward so that either the forehead comes to the mat or the chin. Eventually chest or armpits. Belly in, sitting bones toward each other. That will change quite a lot of the pose. Makes it way harder. Otherwise, it's very relaxing. Okay, slide forward. Release to the palms. Upward facing dog, inhale. And downward dog, exhale. Let's walk the feet forward toward the hands. And whenever they're close, just bend the knees, dangle for a moment. Rounding the back. We'll start to roll up one vertebrae at a time. So we will do a lot of back bends, but we're going to kind of put them in between non-back bends. So let's grab our strap. We're going to do this twice, but this is the first one. So we're going to loop up on the left foot. We're going to swing that strap over the shoulder so that the left elbow faces front. Then we'll let the elbow lift up. So it went with our vision, we can see it. It's not out to the side. From the chest area to the ceiling. And then start to reach back with both hands and start to kick. You just walk yourself along your strap until Either your thigh says no, or your shoulders, or your back. And let's slowly start to release. Slide your hands down your strap, and then let it go. I'll try the other side. Hook up on your right foot. Try to make sure your standing foot is facing front. Sometimes it does a weird duck type of thing. So, to get your shoulder comfy, your right elbow is by your ribs, and it's going to face front, then up. And that's an important thing to get used to for kapotasana. If you have your elbows splaying out in kapotasana, it doesn't work at all. In a pose like this, you could cheat it. But since this is prepping us for other things in this life, we try to keep it with some integrity. Just walk your hands until they don't want to go anymore. We'll start to slide down the strap. As you're sliding, tuck your tailbone and then slowly release. You can just let your strap be to the side. Let's vinyasa. We'll meet in downward dog. The folding forward might be difficult after what you just did. Depends on how easy it is for you to transition. Okay, let's come onto our backs. So however you want to get there is fine. We're going to bring our knees into the chest. So it's very easy, like basically child's pose upside down. Your arms can just rest by your sides. We're just going to point the toes and then let the toes touch the ground close to our butt. And then we'll bring it in again. And just repeat this at whatever pace you want. The catch is that your back is not allowed to lift off the ground. So when your toes start to go toward the floor, you're going to have to work a little bit harder to push your mid-back down. Okay, so we'll bring the knees into the chest, then we'll make it a 90-degree bend in the knees, and we'll just bring the knees over the hips. And then just go back and forth in that range. So knees to the chest, and then knees over the hips. And you'll notice that when your knees are over your hips, you have to work to keep your back down. Let's pause in the place where our knees are over our hips. And then just bring one set of toes down and up again. And then the other set down and up again. And just notice what has to work to keep you very stable. So there's no rocking side to side. There's no letting the back lift off the ground. This should be sort of difficult, but very doable. It just requires your attention, but physically it should be doable. Okay, let's bring the knees into the chest. We'll just start to rock and roll forward and back until at some point you can sit up, and then we're going to fold the right leg back behind us. Oh, I folded my left. Oops, fold the right leg back behind you. And we're going to start to lower down. So we're in Ekapada Supta Virasana. If you have any knee issues and you can't go into a Supta Virasana, instead repeat the thing we did earlier with your Bakasana grip. It will be very similar and helpful. So while we're in Supta Virasana, remember all that work you did in your ab stuff just now to push your back into the floor. Do that again. Obviously now there's going to be a little gap here, but we're trying to minimize it. When we were in the ab work, you could completely eliminate it. Now you're just minimizing it. Okay, switch which leg is in Virasana. You might want to come up to do that, or you might not. I just rock a little bit side to side. And then we end up with the left leg folded back. We're trying to get the left knee down to the ground at the same time that we're bringing our mid back down to the ground. So the only way to do both things at the same time is to stretch these left quads and hip flexor. Push into the top of the foot. Okay, and we'll start to rise up just to sitting, nice and easy, and take your foot out of there for a, what is this? Baddha. Thank you. So we'll interlace the fingers around the toes, and we're just going to sit up straight and let the knees drop down. And then try to keep exactly where you are, just reach your arms forward, and you'll notice that your core is holding you up. If it stops for a moment, you're going to end up kind of slouchy back here somewhere like this. So you're really drawing in and up, especially those of you who have your heels close to your pelvis. Okay, just remember what this feels like. Let's use that to our advantage as we go from Pigeon to Asana. Your favorite things. Okay, so come to hands and knees. We'll lower to the forearms. And just Pigeon, you're used to this. You're going to look between your thumbs or thereabouts, and you'll lift your legs up. And your hips are moving opposite your feet because you're in a back bend. When you decide you want to take it to Asana, you have to push more into your hands and start to bring your feet up toward the ceiling more. You'll then change your gaze, so it's between your wrists, then between your forearms, then between your elbows, and then you'll drop your head and look through your arms to the wall. Okay, come on down whenever you're ready. Either child's pose or kneeling, so that your breath can return to normal. Vinyasa, when it suits you. We'll meet in downward dog. And we'll find Bakasana. Let's rock forward to plank and lower down to the belly. If Bakasana does not suit you, that's the one where we're going to hold the insides of the feet. You can go instead to this. This is Dhanurasana. Feel free to do that. Hello, my love. So for Bakasana, we're going to hold the inside of the feet. I like to put pointer finger between big toe, second toe. And just like we did earlier from that pigeon, we're going to push the edges of the feet toward the outer hips. Hello, my sweet. My little baby decided to come in from the yard and make herself known to the world. Okay, so we'll slowly come out of whichever back bend you're in. And we'll inhale to upward facing and exhale, downward facing. My mat has been taken over. Hello, sweetie. Okay, so I'm just going to have to negotiate that. Okay, no problem. So let's try our pincha thing again. This time, the descent will be to the straddle. Otherwise, the exact same thing you already did. So we're going to start in pincha. I'm just turning around so that, well, maybe I won't. I didn't want to kill my cat. So we're going to start in pincha. We'll turn it into stanyu, and then we'll come down through a straddle. So just combining some things you've already done. Take your time finding your pincha. We'll talk when we're up there. Okay, so we're looking forward. We're in a back bend. We're going to turn it into a more straight up and down situation. Our gaze will be between our elbows. And to come down to the straddle, we can just keep our gaze pretty much there between the elbows. We'll just start to separate the feet, and we'll put on the brakes as best we can. When you've had enough of such things, we'll just meet in a straight arm, straight leg downward dog. And let's rock forward to plank. I'm just going to look at the time. Okay. And we'll come down to our bellies. Done your asana, and then we're going to roll it to the side and the other side and pause again in the center. So we'll hold the outside of the ankles. We're going to kick as much as we can, chest up, heels up, away from our butt. You'll kick harder with the left leg so that you can roll to the right. And I have a very cute thing purring right by my face. Okay, come through center. You're going to try to keep your thighs as high as you can. You'll kick harder with the right. You'll end up on your left shoulder. Heels away from your butt. We'll come back through center. We'll stay there, breathing in center. Thighs as high as you can. Chest as high as you can. The arms are somewhat relaxed here. You're just gripping with your fingers. Okay, slowly let that go. Hands by the shoulders. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. So we'll either go for Anahatasana like we did before, or we'll do knees, chest, and chin with fingers interlaced. So either Anahatasana or drop your chest. Knees can walk in as close as you want. Hands can either stay by your shoulders or interlace behind you and lift thumbs up. And we'll slowly get out of there. Slide yourself forward. Inhale, upward facing. And exhale, downward facing. And my kitty had enough of such things. She's out of here. Okay, let's jump onto the shins. Dvipada, Supta Virasana. We're just going to lay back, have both legs folded back. And maybe we come onto the elbows. You're going to lift your hips and tuck your tailbone. Then you can walk down more. So we're going to continuously think of bringing our pubic bone up and our mid-back down. You'll feel way more in the hip flexors if you do that. And let's start to rise up. Take your time. And we'll just step to downward dog. Let's walk the hands back to the feet. Bend the knees and dangle whenever you get there. And as you're dangling, try to draw your belly in more so that your mid-back finds relief. The opposite of the back bend you just did, just the counter stretch. And start to roll up. Eventually you'll stand. And we'll grab hold of our strap again. We'll do the natrajasana once more. We're going to enter it from a different place this time. Similar, but slightly different. So you're going to loop on your right foot. And this time you're going to let your right foot extend out in front of you. And your hand will slide as close to the foot on your strap as you can. You don't have to go all the way to the foot because in a moment we're going to take it to our natrajasana. So you get your grip out there in front of you. Then we'll start to let the knee bend and we'll take it around into what we know as natrajasana. And then the same as you did before, walking your hands back. And remember in your dhanurasana how much you had to kick with your legs in order to get your heel away from your butt. So same thing now. When you think you're at your end of the pose, you can't do any more, kick your leg out a little more away from you. And we'll just slowly let the strap slide into a release. Ah. Okay, other side. So left foot on the strap. I like to just hold with the right hand close to me so that the left hand can just slide out. It's just easy. So my right hand is on the long side of the strap, the left hand is close to the foot, and then I'll take it around to that back bend position. My right hand is helping a bit to pull so that the left leg goes up high. And then I'll just walk my right hand along the forearm until eventually it's at the same spot on the strap as the hand. And then they do this little leapfrog action. We might lean forward another inch or so, get our heel a little further up. And we'll slowly let the hands slide through the strap until we can get out of there. Okay, so you might want to keep it close, or you might want to ditch it. We'll do one more thing like that in pigeon. For now, let's reach up and exhale to fold. You might need to bend your knees because you just did a crazy back bend, and it's hard to get the hands to the floor. So take your time moving through your vinyasa. Okay, right leg pigeon. Last week I showed you a tricky little way to get into king pigeon. We'll try that again right now. And then we'll try it again with both arms in the strap. So let's take our left hand to the inside of our foot, just like when we were coming into Baddha grip before. And you could always repeat this if you want. Otherwise, slide your toes to your elbow and lift your left hand. Reach your right arm up and over, hold your left hand. And start to walk your right hand down your left forearm. I also use my left hand to kind of pull my right hand down until at some point, my skin is so sticky right now because of the sweat drying. At some point now, my right hand is on my left foot and my left hand can slip out of there. So that just came from mermaid, kind of walking it in a little bit more. Okay, slowly get out of there, and we'll just vinyasa and change sides. Okay, left leg pigeon. And this is one of those pigeons where the foot is close to your right hip. Not like the forward bending one where we had a shin parallel to the top of the mat. Okay, I'm gonna face the other way. So right hand is gonna reach back. You'll find the inside edge of your foot. You'll maybe slide it to your elbow and maybe lift the left hand. So to be able to do king pigeon with both arms reaching back, you do need to be able to do this because you have to balance. A lot of people will find that rocking out of this is the problem, the difficulty. So first you work on that. And then when you want, so I use my back hand to kind of bring the other hand around. This is my tight side, so it doesn't work so well. I'm only getting the toe, but it's enough to show you. Once you get it, you can slip the other hand away. So then my left arm is in the king pigeon format. Okay, so let's slowly get out of there. Take your time, vinyasa. Okay, so we're just gonna come to regular headstand, nothing else for now. So interlace your fingers, head down, lift your legs up. So my back has been sensitive lately, so when I'm lifting my legs right now, I'm gonna bend my knees into the chest. So however you wanna get up, just do that. And then once you're up, you're gonna think more about the edge of your hand. And you're gonna push it down harder so that you notice your head gets a little lighter. I could slide a magazine under your head. And then just lower your head down again. And try it again. So not much is changing. It's not even really very visible to people in the room with you. But you'll feel it quite a bit in the amount of pushing down that you're doing. So let's come on down either to child's pose or kneeling. And we'll rise up. You can vinyasa if you want to. We're going to meet standing on our knees. And I have to take care of this bun that was out of control. Okay. So we'll just find an ustrasana. Standing on the knees, we'll bring our hands to our hips. We'll start to nudge our hips forward, chest up, elbows back. And we'll just keep repeating that. Hips forward, chest up, elbows back, until at some point we feel like we want to reach hands to heels. That doesn't have to be today. Let's rise up. We'll kneel to rest. I will be doing that again in just a moment. If you prefer instead to come into Baddha, feel free to do that. Either way, the emphasis is going to be the tops of your feet. So we'll press into the tops of the feet. If you're going to Lagu, just go ahead and do that. I'm just going to be doing Ustrasana. So we'll push our hips forward. And we'll reach back. If you're in Lagu, you're holding your ankles. And you're still pushing your hips forward. Okay, slowly rise up. Vinyasa. Okay, right leg in front. Slide your left leg back a little more and grab hold of your strap if you have one, so that you can find your kapotasana or kapotasana. So we'll loop it on that left foot. And like you did when we were standing, start with your hand pretty close to your foot. Just makes it easier. Left elbow to the ribs, then left elbow faces front, and then up to the ceiling. So it doesn't bow out to the side. Then right hand can join the party. And you can go with one hand or both. You can walk it as far back as you want. We'll slowly get out of there. Step back, downward dog. Shake out your head. And left leg forward, right hand will come back for the foot. So those of you who don't need the strap, of course, don't take the strap. But if you're thinking that one day you want to be without strap, you're going to just start with your hand closer to your foot. You can start over here, it's fine. There's just a lot more work to do of walking it in. And the practice of getting your elbow to behave helps. So keep that elbow close to you, then forward, then up. And keep squeezing your thighs together so that you don't fall over. Because if you have both hands on a strap, there's no hands to catch you. Okay, slowly get out of there. Vinyasa. We won't be needing the strap again. Let's try that headstand thing again, where we're going to try lifting our head off the ground again. Just a little bit. Don't get crazy. You'll just feel the edge of your hand. So normal headstand. Measure it out however many times you need to. Interlace your fingers. Head down, legs up. And as you push into the edge of the hand more, you'll feel how your shoulders respond. And they help you get your head off the ground. Just play with the process of lifting and lowering. We're going to meet in a child's pose. Take your time. And because I have that continuous back issue, at this point, for my child's pose, I'm going to make fists just to the sides of the belly button and fold over those fists. It helps bring more comfort more quickly. Okay, slowly unravel. Vinyasa. Let's come down onto the back. I'm going to check in with the clock again. Oh, man. Oh, man. Okay. So, heels are going to be close to your butt. We're going to place the hands by the shoulders, ardha dhanurasana. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We'll come on down. So I'll give you a choice to either repeat that or some other back bend from your back. Otherwise, you'll come onto your shins, and we're just going to go into kapo B. So don't worry about A just yet. Probably our time has run out. But for today, when you go to B, we're going to do this with our arms. Instead of just reaching back, we're going to start with this, and then at the last moment, we'll undo. It's just going to help us keep a little more close to the midline, less flailing of the elbows. So just palms together, reach up, start to push your hips forward, and arch back. And then when you need to, separate the hands. And then your hands are down. You can walk them in more. And come up whenever you're ready. Those of you who are doing backbends from your back, you're going to do one more. Those of you going from your shins, you're going to do one more. You can take it to A position if you want. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to go to A, but we'll go to B for sure. So again, start with your palms together, chest up, hips forward. We're using our toes to push. So once you feel good at B, you can take it to A if you want. The trick is if you went to A, you got to go to B again. And let's all meet in child's pose. Take your time. So if you were doing backbends from your back, you'll just kind of roll yourself around. And let's all put our little fists just to the sides of the belly button. Roll over them. Okay, and we'll rise up, downward dog, into downward facing pigeon, right leg in front. So this is the one again where our chest will be close to the shin bone. Or some of you, your shoulder, your left shoulder will be close to your right foot. Your head can come to the floor, or you can make a pillow out of anything. Okay, rise up, swivel the back leg around, swivel the right leg back. Let's swivel the right leg around, and we'll lay down. And just like you did before, bring your knees in. Take out any bun or ponytail. And let's lift the legs up so we're in an L shape. And keep your right leg where it is. Just lower your left down, either toward the floor or 45 degrees. But don't let your back lift up and then switch legs. Okay, both legs up. Glue the inner feet together and just lower your legs about 12 inches. And you'll notice that you have to do a lot of work to keep your back on the floor. Decide if you want to go any lower, and at what point is it too much work to keep your back on the floor. Okay, remember where your legs are. We'll curl in, knees to chest, head up. Exhale there in a little ball. Inhale, extend your arms and legs out to your spot. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, extend it away. One more time, curl it in. Extend away. And we'll lower head and shoulders. Lift the legs up. Halasana. Legs will come overhead. Let's hold our backs so the palms just flat somewhere along your back, just to the right and left of the spine. And let's lift the right leg up to the ceiling. Inner spiral the leg so your kneecap is facing straight back. If you don't inner spiral the leg, you're going to see with your eyes that your knee is on a diagonal. Lower the top leg and lift the other leg. Work to spiral that leg in. Lower the top leg. Bend the knees in toward your ears. Lift both legs up to vertical. Either stay there or cross your legs in lotus or something resembling it. And if your legs are crossed, you're going to place your hands on your knees and try to straighten your arms. That requires leaning your weight into your shoulders quite a bit. Remember how in Pasasana you had to lean your weight into this semi-uncomfortable space. Same kind of concept here. Let's hug the knees in. Place the palms flat and roll down to your back. Let's lower the legs. If you're in lotus, keep it. Otherwise, just straight legs. Lift the chest. If you're in lotus, grab hold of your feet. Hold them closer to your hips. Then we'll come onto the crown of the head, chest up, throat open. Feel free to stay where you are or extend your legs up and arms out in an extended prayer. Slowly release. Knees to the chest like you would a child's pose, just on your back. Rock it a little bit side to side. And scan your body, do whatever final things you need. One of the reasons that we do asana and other physical movements is to prepare the body for rest. Be it shavasana or sitting. Notice the pattern of your breath in shavasana. Often it will be inhale, exhale, hold. Inhale, exhale, hold. We tend to stay for a few seconds in that emptiness because it's easy and it's comfortable and you're the most relaxed at that moment. few more breaths here. Start to wiggle fingers and toes. Bring the knees toward the chest, roll to the side. And gently push up to sitting. Let's bring the hands together. We'll take one Om. First, just an inhale and an exhale. When you think you're at the bottom of your breath, push out a few more inches. And inhale again, bigger. Namaste.